Diablo 4. Seems like everyone on the internet has an opinion on it, so why not add one more, from the perspective of a boomer who first played the original Diablo's demo version in a computer class back in 1996. Ah, the 90s. Golden age of my childhood, when we had everything and nothing at the same time. Everything was simpler back then, even video games. It's hard to believe it had been 27 years already, and here we are. After all, Diablo 4 beaters having full release of the game just around the corner. So let me talk to you about my observations from all the tests we participated in, and let me throw some predictions as well so I can be proved wrong in a few weeks. We only got tidbits of a story served to us by Blizzard, so we cannot be accurate when it comes to the events that will unfold in the full release, but we had enough to have some fun talking about it. First of all, I think the whole shebang about Ratma's prophecy is very interesting, but it can be misused very easily if Blizzard storytellers are not careful enough. We've got a glimpse of it in the early game already. The prophecy about humanity ascending after Lilith's death simply cannot be true. Heavens would never have us, we know that from previous titles. For the so-called angels, we are nothing but abominations in the disgusting creations that we live in, the world of Sanctuary. There were only a few exceptions to that, like Tyrell, which was a selfless defender of Nephilim kind. The others interacted with humanity for their own, often twisted goals. Such it seems is the case with Inarius, which only cares to achieve his own goals, no matter what will be the cost of it to other beings. He is not written very well at this point, cause the storytelling doesn't seem to agree with itself. Is he a cunning and devious immortal that sucks the power out of Nephilims slowly in order to return to high heavens? Or is he simply emotion-driven, powerful being that is more incompetent in his actions than his demonic counterpart, namely Lilith? It is hard to tell by this point. We'll have to wait and see. I predict that his character will be inconsistent in full release. I have mixed feelings about the game's main story. It unfolds as it has better angle than the third entry in the series, and is closer in ambience and form of presentation to the second Diablo game. The best what I mean can be observed in the arc of Vigo's fate. It was good of him to help us, but his motivations were bizarre to say the least. He obsessed about the single sin that he committed recently, so much that he decided to sacrifice himself by fighting in Iron Maiden power armor. Ooh, I didn't see that one coming at all. I'm thinking at the same time, that was really freaking cool, and why it played out like this, what purpose does it serve? What the world of Sanctuary is really like this time around. I am really confused and I simply cannot predict how it will all end. But let's talk about more general aspects of Diablo 4. For once we got what we wanted, improved version of Diablo that we know and like. The core of it really hasn't changed that much since 96. We gonna hack and slash through demons like there is no tomorrow, again and again, and that's fine. That is what we expect from the game, and it should not be radically changed by any means. Combat is still very fluid and pleasant, top tier isometric action gameplay, and all that even without access to full builds that gonna play even better as always. I do not think Blizzard could mess that up. They never have when it comes to gameplay itself, which is on the highest level in all their titles. What I can criticize on the other hand is the cursed lock to 30 FPS during in-engine cutscenes. Give me a break, I know it's gonna get released on the spectrum of consoles last and current gen, but they could give PC and stronger consoles bump to at least 60 FPS for crying out loud. My eyes almost bleed every time I see low frame rates. Thankfully, graphics overall look great for this type of game, and engine itself is very performant and well optimized, as always in Blizzard titles. The issues with memory leaks using high quality assets from the first beta were fixed, so that's good. The only thing I can nitpick is that DLSS implementation is not very good, so native rendering is preferred, at least in 1080p. Still, environments look extra good, much more gory and horror-like than in previous entry. Devs learned from the past mistakes and took some pointers from vaults and aesthetics, I suppose. Alongside great visuals, we have excellent audio side of the game as well. Voice acting is on the highest level, really convincing performances. Sounds are top tier as always, interwoven with superb ambient and musical fixture. It is really the pleasure for the ears. Some folks criticize beta content for too heavy Slavic influences, but I think it is very fitting and well balanced. I might be biased here since I am of Slavic descent myself. We're gonna see in the full release how much of cultural diversity we're gonna have in different parts of the sanctuary. But putting that aside, there are plenty of small side quests around the map. Most are plain and standard online RPG affair, but some are more interesting and intricate. I had fun while in company of many different NPCs, running around killing monsters and being in search of many different things here and there. Maybe the core of side quests is same as always, but it's really nice that developers try to make it more pleasant by including voice acting and telling small stories about everyday folk that just try to live their lives in this cruel world. But everyday's task is what I fear the most when it comes to marrying Diablo 4 into light MMORPG style of a game. For once, I have a bad feeling about the whole crafting of elixirs and incenses. I was always a gutterer in World of Warcraft and the other online games, leaving crafting to its enjoyers. I would hate to be involved in whole herbalism meta, but we will see about that. Maybe I am fearful for nothing. On the other hand, the legendary powers looking interesting, but not yet overpowered like in Diablo 3. If the gameplay gonna be too stale, they can always add more flavors later on, or just pimp out the powers to the ridiculous levels again, if more mild approach is not successful. To be honest, the characters play much more like in the past. Mainly they are the combination of the Diablo 2 and 3 versions, so there is not much to talk about it. I feel optimistic about building your champions as you progress through the game, but what I'm not optimistic about are some of the animations of enemies and environmental effects, again in around 30 FPS it seems. I hope that will change, as it's unfitting for the high refresh rate gameplay of this NPC. All in all, I am satisfied from what I have experienced during Diablo 4 beta testing. I am optimistic, but as always, I do not naively think that all will be fine and dandy right from the start. I am sure some game mechanics gonna be criticized with heavy negativity by some of the strong voices on the internet. Hell, I might even be negative about them as well. Who knows? But what I'm seeing is that the newest Diablo title will be a good game. How good? Only time will tell. I will leave you with that thought, as we will wait together for a full release, and then we will talk again. But until then, stay strong and do not pre-order the game.